Well, hello, and Happy New Year. On today's show, I'm going to talk about Joker, Folie, Deux, better known as Joker 2. Mike takes us back to 1935 with his Get It or Forget It. And last but not least, Pat says he's got some hot toys for the cold winter nights. Welcome to your favorite live streaming, whatnotting podcast. Comics and collectibles in the crawl space. I, of course, am your fourth or fifth favorite podcasting host, Kevin. And the other two or three are in the room. First up is Patrick.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, Patrick. And then next, of course, is Mike.
Hey, Happy New Year, fellas.
Happy New Year to you. How's it going?
Excellent.
We've got a perfect start to a new year.
Let's ruin that.
No. We've already ruined it. That's my point. That's why it's perfect, because we're 40 minutes late.
Things can only get better.
Well, actually, we're a week and 40 minutes late.
Yeah.
Our first show was supposed to be last Saturday. First show of 2025.
How many minutes is that?
Do the math on that real quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah. But so our first show is supposed to be last week. We're almost an hour late today because we made the show on an off week. Karen's not here, so it's going to be a complete nightmare. The entire show. So buckle up.
10,120 minutes.
Good job, Mike.
That was awesome. And then, I've got nothing but great things to talk about today on my with my parts of the show. You guys feel confident that everything you are going to talk about today in this first show of the new year is awesome as well?
Oh, you know it.
Yep.
That's good. I hear the confidence in your word. I want to say, can I mention something a little off topic, but I want to talk about it real quick. Mix it up a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Rivals, okay? Season 1 dropped yesterday, just to let you know. So it's been out for a month. And season 0, I guess, was, didn't have a season, essentially. People are calling it season 0. I don't know if there is an accurate way to say it.
I mean, if one is yesterday, you have to call it 0, I guess.
Yeah. So, but as of yesterday, season 1 officially started. They added Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic to the mix. So you can be them now. And for the last month, we've been fighting multiple Doctor Dooms in the multiverse as the storyline backdrop of all the combat that's happening in this game. And then in season 1, we're visiting Transylvania, and Dracula is causing all kinds of problems in New York. I guess that's the new storyline. I haven't actually read it yet, which this is why I wanted to bring this up today, besides for any commission I could possibly get for selling Rivals. Not that it needs it, because that's the other story, too, that just dropped in its first month. Pat, do you want to guess how much money Marvel Rivals is reporting?
I can't even imagine. I don't know what games like this of this type make.
Do you have any guesses?
800 million.
Okay. Mike?
I would say I'm going to way under where Pat is, but based on nothing, 7 million.
You said 7 million?
Yeah.
I think you guys are equally off on a spectrum. It's 138 million
crazy.
which is still insane in 30 days.
It's a free game.
Right.
How do you seriously?
One of my favorite stories to tell, because when I read it, it struck me so deep that, I love just repeating, how it goes with stories, and I felt for this guy. So there was a guy reporting that he had spent 3 years of his life designing a game and obviously perfecting it for release, and then had it put out on, in a material media, not on, digital or whatever. And and it was a #1 bestseller when it released or something like that. I can't remember the game. It's a game we would all know. I can't remember the game, but the game is inconsequential to the story. So whoever this was that was describing this game talked about how it was a bestseller too, and he made like $3 million after working hard for a couple years. And of course, he's thinking, this is great.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky in our entire lifetime to make that. Most people like us, of course, would, right? So he can appreciate that. Then he found out, and the reason he made this post is he found out World of Warcraft online put out a golden horse skin, okay, that was a cosmetic that was available to buy in the World of Warcraft store. That, of course, as you can imagine, a skin takes minimal time to make. I actually don't know. Maybe let's be generous and say maybe 2 to 3 days. Okay. And it made like 80 million, just from that skin selling. So you reminded me of that. Reminded me of that story, Mike, because it's a free game. Yeah, it's a free game. This is the way to do it, though. This is how it's going to be now on forever.
Yep.
Which I'm down with that, because guess what? I love playing free, and when I can afford something cool that I want, I'll get it. But if I won't. And I'll just keep playing for free.
Yeah, the new Sniper Elite's going to be on Game Pass at the end of this month, so that's awesome.
Yeah, how do they make all that money on Game Pass, giving away hundreds of free games every month? And what do you pay, $9 or whatever? Yeah, so.
And then when they remove it from Game Pass, I'll end up buying it later on. Anyway.
Yeah. But why?
The story you just told about the guy creating that game, I saw, just stumbled across this guy. He had spent like 10 years writing this album, and I think doing a comic book type of thing to go along with it. And I was like, wow, that's impressive. Let me check this out. I want to support this. So I listened to like part of a song, and it was terrible.
Man.
I was all excited. I was like, oh man, that's a lot of time to put into something.
Yeah, you especially feel bad when you're really rooting for, like you guys with me, if I'm sure if I do something, you guys want to support me, but it could suck still. And then you feel bad, but what are you going to do? Right. Well, I still have another thing I wanted to mention about Rivals and why I brought it up, besides for all the other things we said already. Those are actually just sidebars. This is what I wanted to point out to both of you, especially obviously since I know both of you aren't anywhere close to into gaming as much as I am now in our lives. But obviously you still have gaming blood. You used to be heavy gamers in the past. And I'm telling you, this game, and I may have said this already the last time I mentioned it, I just want to sell it again. This game is everything we've been dreaming about since we were little boys, okay? Since we were 10 years old and first could appreciate superheroes, especially, I know this doesn't apply to you, Pat, because it was earlier, but me and Mike in our teenage years, and we could first appreciate comic books. This has it all, except you're a part of the story. You're a part of the narrative. It is so immersive, and they're adding taglines to in reaction. Characters react to each other differently and say different things to each other when they're in the same room, and it is so interactively immersive, aside from just being a fun kick butt action fighting game. I'm telling you. And Mike got a little taste of it. I forced him onto it, Pat, for a minute at Christmas time. And he played Star-Lord for a minute. And Mike, you liked it, right?
I loved it. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, Pat, I think this is gonna be coming to Switch or something. But you have no next gen system besides there's no Nintendo next. There's no how do you what's the terminology for whatever the latest system is? But whatever, you don't have a latest system past Switch, right, Pat?
Not me personally, but Valor got a PS5. He's had it for like 5 months, but he wasn't allowed. He had to prove himself to be able to have it, and he finally got it at Christmas break. And he downloaded this. He played 2 rounds and said no. He's reporting all the cheaters, the hackers. He got totally destroyed by, I guess, he's saying someone's playing Loki and Scarlet Witch, and they're not even hitting him, and they're registering hits, and he's like, I'm done with it. But his friend also got a PS5, and I think he's been trying to get him to come back and try again. So I don't know what the status is. I watched a little bit of it. It looks cool, but he was totally frustrated, and he's a good player. So I don't know what the deal was when he tried it initially.
Yeah, I've never heard that. Yeah. Well, hopefully he gives it a shot and finds a way to work out whatever happened to him, because then, of course, I can imagine if he's into it, then maybe that might get a controller in your hand for a minute, because I'm telling you, especially if we all play together, we're on the same team. We got 6 of us together on the same team. Even getting completely wrecked, it would be a blast. So anyway, that's what I wanted to tell everybody. Season 1 dropped yesterday. I haven't even tried Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic yet. I thought all the Fantastic Four were dropping, but
I saw a picture of that they were, and I also saw like a post that said Mr. Fantastic is the worst character created for Rivals.
He looks goofy, but I've had him on my team and he kicks some butt. I don't know, but I haven't actually played him yet. But he looks goofy. I've always felt that way about Mr. Fantastic and Elastic Man anyway. So But anyway, so that's what's going on with Marvel Rivals. I just wanted to give that a shout out real quick, and the counter reporting, aside from what Valor said, is Max, Ayla, Tyler, none of us can get enough of it, and none of us have had cheating problems or anything like that. It could be bad luck, because obviously I know it exists. So maybe he did get into a game with a bunch of cheaters. That would suck. I don't
know,
to have a starting game that way. So anyway, all right, little bonus thing there. Ready to get into seeing what I watched?
Yeah.
All right. If I can figure out how to do this, since we don't have Karen. How's this work? This
Karen's on vacation this week.
Yeah. All right. All right, first up for me is a completion review. I finally finished all of Dune Prophecy on Max. I can't remember what episode I got up to whenever I spoke of this last, but I watched the finale, which came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. I finally got around to watching it yesterday, and it is fine, I guess. Did anybody else give this a shot at all?
No.
Nope. Sorry.
Were either of you even considering it?
I figured at some point I would probably get to it, but we want to watch the second Dune movie first, just because I figure it's probably higher quality. But we've been watching.
This is higher quality, or Dune 2 is higher quality?
Dune 2 is higher quality.
Hey, you want to watch the garbage first?
Right. Oh yeah, so I appreciate it, because if I watch the movie, then we get to this, it's like this just doesn't compare.
Exactly. I mean, obviously it's a TV show, but actually it does compare. It is, as far as production quality and all that, it's special effects and stuff. It is on par with the movies. It's really excellent as far as that's concerned.
I'm just making up excuses because
Okay. I was going with it. You didn't have to call yourself out there. I was going with it. But this is a prequel by 1,000 years too, so you don't even need to see the movies yet, you know.
Right.
But anyway, this, like I said, this is fine. I'll probably continue watching it because I'm a Dune geek, but this isn't really my cup of tea. It's all about the sisters that, what are they called again, Pat? Do you remember?
It says from the novel Sisterhood of Dune.
No, you said the name of the, I think, wasn't it you who said on the last episode what the name of the sisters that, I can't remember, but the ones that speak all the weird, they can yell at people and make them do what they want and stuff like that. It's a classic Dune thing. It's those women, the women that are the assistants to the leaders of all the houses in Dune. That's what the show's about. Basically, it follows their adventures and basically it's a complete train wreck. Aside from it not really being my cup of tea, it's a complete train wreck too. As soon as you think you know one thing, another thing gets messed up. It's like an old soap opera that every time you got something figured out, on the tail end, like almost immediately of that being figured out, they add a new problem to the equation. And that's how the season ended too. So we didn't get any conclusion with anything in this entire season. So now I'm like, if I want to know what the things I've watched already, I've got to watch the next season, which I'm sure is all part of their master plan, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And then we talk to our millions of followers, and then they want to watch it too. But anyway, I'm going to give Doom Prophecy 7.5 smiley faces.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's fine. It's just not. It's frustrating and not my cup of tea. But but like I said, the production, all that, acting's good, writing's good. It's just not my cup of tea. So anyway, check it out on Max if it is your cup of tea. You think? Go ahead.
So it's kind of like 7-Eleven pizza. I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get some of that 7-Eleven pizza, and then I eat it. I'm like, why did I do that? I'm not gonna do that again. And then next week, oh, I'm gonna get some of that 7-Eleven pizza. You're like, oh, I'm gonna watch Dune Prophecy. Why did I do that?
That's a pretty good analogy, actually. That happens every time. Are you that way with 7-Eleven pizza too, Pat?
I don't think I've ever had 7-Eleven pizza.
The only thing I was going to say is I feel like maybe that's probably the biggest different world we're in. Obviously, we're from the same hometown or whatever and same age and all that, but you've been kind of a white collar worker, right? For a long time now, right, Pat?
Me, yeah.
Yeah. And me and, you only go to 7-Eleven, have 7-Eleven pizza when you're in the field constantly.
Yeah. If you're eating in your truck, because that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't even have many 7-Elevens up here, I don't think, anymore.
We literally have multiple 7-Elevens on one corner in some places. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, I believe it.
Remember that right there were seriously, it was an intersection and there were two 7-Elevens right here.
That's what it's like down here, though, you can imagine. So anyway, all right, the next movie I have for you is called Slingshot. Now register this underneath the category of B movie with A-list actors that came out recently that you didn't even hear about. How did I miss it category? You know how we've talked about this a million times, right?
Yeah.
But look at this, Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne. And especially looking at this poster, this is you guys both right away. You saw this poster, you were like, yeah, this is Kevin Candy. This is exactly what Kevin wants.
Yes. Yeah.
He needs a sci-fi poster with floating heads.
Yeah.
But it's really weird too. I was searching for the last couple weeks for a fourth thing to watch, and technically I didn't include two of the other things I've got to review today, but I couldn't find anything. And then all of a sudden last night, boom, this is like what the heck? I don't know whether it's just dropped yesterday or it was just hidden in my Amazon Prime need to watch it. I don't know, but this came out in 2024. So just last year.
August 30th, I'm guessing.
Yeah. And like I said, you can see on the poster, Casey Affleck, Lawrence Fishburne. This also has Emily Beecham in it. Which, what do I know her? Do you guys know her?
Not her name. Might know her face.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say. I know her face from things, but I couldn't really recognize her name too much. But, and I watched this on Amazon Prime. And like I said, I actually felt a little uncomfortable when I called this a B movie because the quality's fine. It's good. But you know how some of those movies, they intentionally make things lackluster because of their budget or something like that, you know? When this had moments to where it needed to have a budget, it looked great. But I felt like a majority of the movie, it was just selling itself on being a quality movie because of the acting chops it has in the movie. But there was really it's like the spaceship there in the entire movie is like this flat white in the background, you know, with lines and gadgets occasionally, but it really, really bland sets, for lack of a better way to describe it. And it seemed like the ship, which we never saw the outside of it either. We only are either in the ship or on Earth. And actually, ironically enough, the production on Earth looked great. And I don't know anything about filmmaking to describe, film, gauges and, how they say 8mm film versus this film is better and all this, that, and the other. I don't know anything about any of that stuff, except when they were on Earth, it looked like a major motion picture. But when they got in the ship, it looked like some B-roll movie. It was really kind of a weird thing, But basically what this is about is, as we all know, we're destroying the planet. So we need to find another planet. And of course, Jupiter, I've heard this many times now in many movies. So it's either true or this is just what the powers that be decided they were going to grab onto, is that Titan, one of Jupiter's moons, is the nearest closest celestial body that's inhabitable by man right now, I guess, or something. Have you guys heard this before?
No, I have not. I've heard of Titan, but
Yeah, Jupiter's moon Titan is apparently inhabitable. I don't know, in the sci-fi universe, not in real life, just in the sci-fi universe, right?
There could have been one person writing it and then somebody else writing the movie. It's like, you know what? I heard that. They just
You'll be right. Absolutely. I'm totally down for that thought. I totally believe that could be legit. So anyway,
if we write a sci-fi movie, we're probably like, what's with Titan? That's what everybody's doing.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, we're following Casey Affleck, Lawrence Fishburne. There's one other fellow. I shouldn't do him wrong. I was just going to say I don't know his name and skip him, but I've actually got it right here. His name is Tomer Capone. But these are the four major players. Tomer Capone's not from anything either. Oh, it looks like he's in The Boys. But yeah, so literally this movie follows them and the lady I mentioned, she's on Earth. And basically what we're experiencing is Casey Affleck losing his mind. That's what the focus of this movie is, because basically they have to go into hibernation every couple weeks for like 9 months to travel the 1 billion miles and still not be 100 years old by the time they get there. All these sci-fi rules they have, right? And basically when you go into hibernation, this fluid that they have to put in your veins to make sure the hibernation sticks makes you crazy. They didn't know this, of course. So then that's your setup for the madness. So we're in a spaceship headed to Titan. Nightmarish things are happening because of hibernation sickness, essentially, while Casey Affleck is missing his girlfriend. I mean, literally, that's what this movie is. And like I said, I explained the quality so far. So, man, I really, really want to love this because I like Casey Affleck a lot. Always love Lawrence Fishburne. Obviously, big sci-fi guy. this just not fit the bill. I'm probably being generous when I give this 5 smiley faces.
Wow.
Hmm.
You ever notice how quiet of an actor Casey Affleck is?
Yes. Yeah. Which I like that about him. That's cool.
Yeah, I know. It's a very calming thing, but
right. Yeah.
It's interesting.
So anyway, this is a miss, which as soon as but you know me, how many times have I never heard of a movie that has actors in it that I gave good ratings to? Something like this, when I give a bad rating to, I'm like, oh, that's why I didn't hear it. Because it's obviously garbage. There's no word of mouth. But then that still doesn't answer the other situations that I brought up before where, why didn't I hear about that? I thought it was great, So anyway, Slingshot, Amazon Prime, just pass it. You'll appreciate Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne more if you don't watch this movie. So.
They have many other movies to watch.
Exactly. And all of them good. But anyway. All right, then I finished up another series on Disney Plus, The Skeleton Crew. Patrick, what is your status on The Skeleton Crew, if any?
I didn't think it was over. I watched 4, 5, and 6 over break. I thought there was 7 and 8 still left, but I don't know.
I thought I watched 8.
Could have.
Dadgummit. Let me see what Disney Plus says real quick. Are you guys fact checking me too while I'm doing this?
Trying to. Yeah.
No, I was doodling.
Mike, pay attention. Oh, I know what's happening with you. You're not paying attention to the show today because you're going to have all those quips ready for the wrap up. Got it.
Yes. Quips. Funny quips.
Okay, so yeah, only 7 dropped.
Okay.
That's what I thought there was going to be 8 too, right?
Yeah.
Dadgummit. I thought it was
yes, there is one more 8. Yep.
That actually makes me happy because that's one thing I was going to complain about was the ending.
You can complain about it next show.
Yeah, I guess so. So you watched 4, 5, and 6 of this?
Yes.
And what are you thinking?
I'm up and down with it. I like the Pleasure Planet episode the best, I think.
Yeah.
Where they were going after the treasure. Yeah, but there's things I like about it. There's things I don't.
I agree with that. And I think the biggest thing that I'm not liking about it is sometimes, I'm just going to say, to put it in the most simplest term, the writing. It's just some things are said that don't fit or don't make sense, even for kids. Like, I feel like even a kid wouldn't say it that dumb or something like that. Sometimes that strikes me with the writing just being off, But yeah, this is again similar to Dune in the way that this just really isn't my cup of tea. Obviously, I'm not talking about Star Wars. Star Wars is my cup of tea, but this is definitely directed towards a younger generation for sure. For kids, like I told you before, Mike, you might want to boot this up sometime with Mark. He might really dig this. I could see Mark being a target audience. Would you agree with that, Pat?
Yeah. Definitely aimed towards a younger audience, but they throw in bits for Star Wars old men like us.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. So, and it's fine. The thing I was going to say about the ending that I was going to complain, for lack of a better describer, about was just how open-ended it was. I just figured it was a setup for next season. But so I'm happy that it's just a setup for next episode. So anyway, let's check that out. But yeah, I guess I might have to come back and just give a quick review after I see the finale. You know how important those are for me. But as of right now, yeah, I give it, as far as aiming towards a kid's show for Star Wars, I give it a solid 8, 7.5, maybe 8, because of the writing a little bit isn't quite fit,
Yeah.
So anyway, Mike, check it out on Disney Plus.
Right. Right now, like I think I've told you many times, if it doesn't have a football in it, Marcus is not interested.
Okay.
Seriously, that kid is living and breathing football more than I ever did.
Well, I think there's 2, correct me if I'm wrong, Pat. I think there might be 2 episodes in this show where they play. It's not exactly football. It's like Star Wars ball, though. It's really similar to football.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 11-man teams on the field, but they're like robots and stuff. And they had that, Pat. They had that whole entire episode where that's all they did was focus on one football game. I think it's episode 3. Check that out, Mike.
Well, we all consider Rudy a football movie, right?
What else would it be?
Yeah, and Marcus was dying to watch Rudy, so we watched Rudy because he heard so much about it, and he's like, "Can we watch a movie with more football in it?" Because there was hardly any football in that football movie. I was like, "Okay, yeah."
That's true. That's not yeah.
Yeah, when you finally get
obviously
down to
a football movie, but
yeah, it really isn't. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Is there any kids football movies anyway? Because the football movies I'm thinking that actually have football in it aren't for kids.
Yeah, there's well, I think one that we might is it Remember the Titans? What's the Denzel?
Oh yeah, I remember the Titans.
Yeah,
but
I think
there's not a whole lot
watch
of football in that either.
It's been a while since
I mean, there's quite a bit more than in Rudy, but I'm just saying it's a lot of drama and stuff. It's not 85% football, which is what it sounds like Mark probably needs in a movie.
Yeah, it's like, dude, let's just watch a football game. But anyway, I'll bring this up to him. We'll try to squeeze it in.
All right, just to slip this in before I move on to the next movie. I was completely lying. There's no football in this at all, Mike. But just tell Mike that, or just tell Mark that. So, anyway.
I'll tell him there is. Yeah,
we're saving it for episode 8.
Yeah.
All right, then last but not least, I got around to watching Joker. Folie, Deux. I attempted that during the teaser. How'd I do, Pat?
It was good. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, cool.
And the graphic looks like his hair turns red.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. I didn't even notice that being together there like that. But anyway, so we actually mentioned this for a minute before the show started, but to mention it during the show, Pat, you bought this and you intend on watching, but you haven't watched it yet, correct?
Correct.
Mike, you'll probably never get around to this because you haven't even watched the first Joker yet, which my son, your nephew, called a perfect movie.
Perfect movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you got loved ones in your life saying something's perfect and you don't watch it, oh man, what are you doing with your life?
Well, as long as I don't watch it, it'll always be perfect. If I watch it and I don't think it's perfect, then it's not perfect anymore.
He might have set you up for a letdown there anyway, too. Just spoiler alert. No,
I do want to see it though.
Yeah. I definitely think. Here's what I think. I definitely think you'll like both of these better than I did. Honestly, these are more your cup of tea. I'm dealing with a lot of things that aren't my cup of tea during this show. I'm just realizing this. Yeah. The only one that was my cup of tea that I watched was not good, but. What can you do?
Obviously, you're not a tea drinker.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, what did you think of Joker? Start there.
I thought it was a fine movie. I just would have preferred it not be called Joker. I mean, it wasn't necessary.
I like that. I didn't even. I think we reviewed the Joker on this show. I think we reviewed the original.
I know we talked about it.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you've said that before, but I love that, Pat, because that's you're almost taking the words out of my mouth to when Lexi saw this in theaters. So after I finished it, she walked in and she's like, "So what'd you think?" And I'm like, and I'll give more details in a second, but basically after everything I said, I was just like, it doesn't even need to be called Joker. I mean, why?
Yeah.
They actually threw Harvey Dent into this one, but this could be a fine movie and arguably better if they didn't try to actually portray this as the Joker,
Right.
So the first thing I have to say about this is you all may have heard about this being a musical. Mike, have you heard that?
I have.
I'm going to actually push back on that description. I'm not calling this is not a musical. I don't even care can you check this, Mike, while I'm talking? I don't even care does IMDb list this as a musical?
I don't know.
Yeah, check that real quick because I've definitely heard it defined as a musical so many times that I feel like that's what has been the accepted narrative. But I'm not even calling this a musical because this is just a movie with a lot of singing in it. Now,
Yes,
and
it's a musical / thriller.
Okay, I see. I'm not gonna call it that, Mike. And I'm gonna hazard to guess that you might actually agree with me again when and if you ever see this, that there's just a lot of singing with music in this. So what I mean by that is I feel like in musicals they try to send a message with the music, right? So, you've got scenes that are full on blown up music, and these musical sequences send a message through music
Yeah.
about the movie, about the story,
So
right?
the lyrics of the song forward the plot of the movie.
Right.
That's what this does. That's why I'm not calling it a musical. Like, no. So, okay. No. Okay, wait. I see what you're saying, Pat. I see what you're saying. Yeah. The lyrics of the song said that, okay, this is what the difference is, in my opinion. In this movie, the lyrics are actually, they might as well just be saying them, but they're singing them. You know what I'm saying? Like Joker will go into a love, he'll be hitting on Harley Quinn, whatever. And he's telling her how much he loved her. He's just singing it and doing it. But so I feel like in musicals, it's less literal than this movie was. Like the lyrics move the plot forward, like you said, Pat, which is a great way to articulate it. But in this, literally, the lyrics are just the words in a line. Like you could remove the music and them singing and have them just say what the lyrics are, and it would be fine dialogue.
I've heard other people say that about this too. It's like they're speak singing or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
They're not really songs. They're just talking musically.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying this is, in my opinion, this isn't even a musical. What's that Christmas movie you say you guys watch every year, Mike?
Spirited.
Yeah. Spirited.
Mm-hmm.
That is way more of a musical than this movie. And wasn't that the debate with us? You don't consider that a musical and I do, or what was the debate on there?
I don't know. It's all on what I can't even remember my stance on it, but the way I always saw it was a musical is where the whole entire movie was sung, like Evita. You ever see Evita with Madonna?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That, every single line in that was sung.
Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
Yes. I love it.
Pat, have you seen that?
No, still have not seen that.
Oh man, it's so good. But anyway, Mike, is that a musical?
I would, in my definition, no, but it seems like it is. I think people consider it. But here's the definition: songs are woven into the narrative and often advance the plot or develop the characters. Kind of like what Pat was saying there.
Yeah, Pat, that's why I thought it was awesome the way he said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So perfect. I guess if we
wait, Pat, were you quoting something you had in front of you? Okay.
Pat just knows musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The only nitpick I have was with Mike is I don't agree that everything has to be sung.
I agree with that too. That's what I was going to say. I consider The Greatest Showman a musical because basically they'll just break out into great music and dance, and it does advance the plot of the story. But it's not like you could take the music and have them not singing, and it could actually work as dialogue in the movie, which that's what this Joker Part 2 does, though. So
does anybody know a theater expert that can come in here and talk to us about this?
I don't know. We'll have to track one of those down.
Yeah, I have one upstairs.
But that's the first thing I want to tell people about the Joker, that I don't consider this a musical. So don't let the fact that other people were calling it a musical sway you from checking it out. I don't care for musicals at all. Greatest Showman's awesome. It's see that, but I'm not a big musical guy. So that's why I was really apprehensive to watch this anyway. That's the biggest reason probably I waited for it to come out in a way that I could watch it free. Which, dadgummit, what was this on free?
Probably Max. right?
Yeah,
It's
I
it's a
think that's
Warner
what it
Brothers
was.
movie.
Right, yeah. So yeah, I got to watch this drop free. I don't know when it dropped either. I just finally got around to it this week as well. So that's for starters. But then also too, like me and Pat mentioned already with the first Joker and now this one. Do not come in here thinking you know anything about this movie because you're familiar with Joker and Batman and Harvey Dent and the DC universe. No, that this nothing to do with any of that. So even though now they've added Harley, what's Harley's real name?
Harleen Quinzel.
Okay. This girl's name is Lee. I don't even know. They literally, spoiler alert, not really, but they literally go from her name's Lee to then calling her Harley in like 2 scenes. I'm like, how did we get there? Why all of a sudden is she Harley? Aside from, I feel like the character she portrays is so similar visually to Harley Quinn that's why they called her that. Literally, aside from her being in love with the guy that they're calling the Joker and her visual looks, nothing else is the same as Harley Quinn from comics. Nothing. Not her name, not her profession, not how they met, not where they're going, nothing. Like I said, this movie just does not need to be called the Joker. That being said,
do that.
Would you say, Mike? Sorry.
Why do they do that?
Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, now that's for the good stuff. So Joaquin Phoenix is amazing as he was, which I think obviously was the bright spot in my opinion to the original Joker. But Lady Gaga was also awesome, which, you know, I like Lady Gaga a lot. Every time she does something, I enjoy it, you know. So she was pretty cool in this, although not Harley Quinn. She's good in this as well, and they're a really good fit. And I really, this may be really strange. I'm going to say it anyway, though. I felt in this movie more so than in the original Joker that I could totally relate to Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I don't look too favorably among my younger years for many reasons, and one of them is definitely my relationships with the female persuasion. And this movie, I could really relate with his character. Like I said, in Joker, he's really on a murderous rampage, so I couldn't relate to that too much. But in this one, with his relationship, thank God, right? With his relationship with Harley in this one, it totally struck a nerve with me. You know, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it at the same time. It's so complex, you know. But I think I gave the first Joker a 7. Maybe a 7.5. I'm going to give this one, I'm going to stick right with 7 as well. 7 smiley faces for the Joker. I think if you are inclined to like musicals, and I think if you aren't a Batman DC geek, you might love this. This might be 8-9 for you. I don't know. It is definitely quality, you know. So go and give it a shot. Joker.
I think from what I gathered was it got slammed so much because nobody knew. A majority of the people didn't realize that there was all this singing in it. So when they went to see it, they're like, whoa, what's going on here? So they banned it because it wasn't what they thought. If it had been promoted differently, so people going in would have known, I think it might have been actually done better.
You might be right.
When I saw, like I said that I saw Evita, I had a friend say, hey, let's go see this Madonna movie. I'm like, okay, I'll go see it. I didn't know that they sang the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was annoyed.
I bet.
So what does Tyler think of this? Did you know?
Oh, actually, I didn't even check with him on it yet, actually. Nope. It's, you know, things are weird. We got the snowstorm down here in Virginia. That kind of puts life on hold. Isn't it weird, Mike, how we are down here?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the world stops.
Yeah. I think, you know, there's so many we've got such a wide variety of people in this area from all parts of the world. So there are people here that are new to the region, have never seen snow.
Yeah.
There are people who've been here for 5 years and have hardly seen snow because we get it so sporadically.
Yeah.
It's just, it is crazy.
Yeah. And then my phone's been messing with me since Christmas, so I haven't been communicating that well. It's been rough. I'm ready to have this be a good show, which obviously I think it is. I guess I'm tooting my own horn there so far, but I think it's a good show so far. But man, I'm happy to be back. So anyway, let's get to some better stuff than mine. That's all I.
Let me finish up this segment with I asked Emily what makes a movie musical, and she kind of reiterated what we had said there. People singing to move the plot forward. So I think to simplify it, as long as they're singing to move the plot forward, there you go. Doesn't matter how many songs or all that stuff.
So she's saying this is a musical then, essentially.
Yes, she would consider this a musical.
Even though that's the differentiation that I'm making, is that I think the music and the singing could be taken away completely and they could say the same words and it could work as dialogue in the movie.
Yeah, that's what makes it a musical, is the fact that if you take the music away and they say the same thing, it still moves it forward.
No.
You're saying just remove that whole part?
I'm saying this movie is different than a typical musical.
Oh, okay.
Like using Les Miserables or
right, okay.
Phantom of the Opera, these are ones that obviously Emily loves, You couldn't take the music away but leave the words to the music in it would suck.
Right, okay.
That's what I'm saying is different about this, is literally they're just singing the dialogue. So it's weird. And on top of all that too, it isn't constant throughout this either. I don't even think I mentioned that part. It isn't even constant through all this. I'd say 50% of this has no music or singing in it at all.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, I guess that's the simplistic way. So I guess that's probably what whoever decided this is a musical defined it as. I just wanted to make sure I made that distinction. It's not the type of musical that I don't like.
Mm-hmm. It's not Grease.
Right. It's not Grease.
Do you want a quick what Pat watched over the holidays?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
12 Monkeys is so good. What's that? Venom? Oh, Venom.
Hold on a second. What is that? Hundreds of Beavers?
What is that?
Hundreds of Beavers. Yes, it was recommended by my uncle.
Okay.
That looks like a 1970s.
It's not. It's from 2 years ago.
Get out.
But it's a throwback to like silent era films and Marx Brothers and Three Stooges. It's black and white, shot on a low budget, but it's a lot of fun. It's so weird because it's about an Applejack maker in Wisconsin whose his fortunes are destroyed by beavers building this dam. And it's his plot to regain his life from the beavers, and the beavers are played by people in costumes.
Oh my god!
All of the animals, all of the animals are humans in costumes.
That's funny.
Wow. What do you give it?
Budget.
A 7. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think this is Venom Part 2, right?
That is Venom. Let There Be Carnage. Correct.
Yeah, there it is. I see it. I can barely see it on the bottom there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll give that one a 4.
Okay.
That good, huh?
That's generous, in my opinion. But
and the only good thing about Let There Be Carnage is the thing I hated about the first Venom. I mean, it's a positive and a negative. It's Tom Hardy's dual portrayal of Eddie Brock and Venom. Mm-hmm. It's the best part of the movie, but it's the worst part of the movie. I don't know.
Wow.
I thought the best part of this one was the special effects were pretty cool.
Okay.
I thought Carnage looked pretty awesome.
Yeah. I didn't buy Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson is. I like him as an actor, but some characters are him.
Yeah.
He
didn't need a love interest. That was just an extra baggage needed, added to the plot that bogged it down. I thought a lot of things like that.
Before we move on with this, what Pat watched, can I give you guys a fun piece of movie trivia that you're probably not going to believe? You're going to probably have to verify it after I tell you, but it's true. You ready?
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men. Remember that?
Sure.
Yes.
What's his name?
Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem.
Not Fred Ward. The other one, I always get confused with Fred Ward. Men in Black. Come on.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. Tommy Lee Jones makes a comment about how there's been an epidemic of murders. So much he cites this bank robbery where a bunch of people were killed in the city. And this movie takes place in like 1979 or something, right? Or 80s, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he talks about a murder that takes place in 1979, which was like just a few months earlier than the things that are happening in No Country for Old Men. That was an actual true event in real life, okay? And the bank robber that killed a bunch of people that he's referencing, his name's something like Frank Harrelson. And it's none other than a star from No Country for Old Men, Woody Harrelson's dad.
I knew his dad was in prison, but that's pretty wild.
It is wild. All right, anyway, so 12 Monkeys, we all agree we're giving that a 9 at least?
I'd probably say it's an 8. I mean, it still holds up.
I was going to say 10. I fucking love that movie.
And then what's this Hellboy, the Crooked Man?
Very low budget, but not in a bad way. I probably give it like a 7.5. Jack Casey is Hellboy, and he's very good. He's probably the closest to the actual comic Hellboy in film. Okay. They were smart to stick with a compact storyline and not try to tell too much, and I think that worked for the best. I'd like to see more of these, but there probably won't be because this didn't even get a theatrical release, so we'll see.
Okay. So they finally got it right with this one, and
yeah,
they got it the rightest as possible to actual Hellboy fans, and that's their probably won't continue. That's sad.
Yep.
Everything they should do, it's like, you know what? Let's make the true fans happy. And then everybody else will fall in line. Yeah. But if you annoy the true fans, you've already alienated the people that will give you their money.
Yeah, and this is such a hard one because everybody loves the Guillermo del Toro Hellboys. Mm-hmm. I like them too, but it's not the comic book Hellboy. But everybody, the majority of people on this planet think that's the real Hellboy. So. There's a catch-22 there. Everybody's always wanting that third one to finish the trilogy, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then Scrooged, that's top 5 Christmas movie for me.
It's very good. It's a little bit uneven, I think, but Bill Murray is excellent in that movie. Yeah.
Do you like that one, Mike?
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
The ending is uneven, but I think it's sort of heartfelt and earnest. It almost seems like it's unscripted in a way. But I think it works.
Interesting take. Yeah, I definitely think it works. Although, what I did learn not too long ago, I think Max and Lexi were still very young too. It's not a kid's movie.
Nah.
I started playing. I was like, okay, this isn't what I remembered. I must have watched it earlier than I should have when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And what'd you say you gave Hundreds of Beavers?
Probably like a 7. I'd say it's too long. It's 2 hours long, and they definitely could have done some tighter editing on it. Watch a trailer, and then probably gauge your interest. But the whole time I'm watching it, I'm sort of like amazed at how they pulled this off and how they made it and things like that. It's very strange. And apparently they have another movie that most of the same people did. I think it's called the Lake Monster, the Monster of Lake Michigan or something. It's like a more of a throwback to like early horror movies, low budget horror movies. And I definitely want to check that out because of this. So.
Okay. I'll probably try to track it down if I can find it somewhere free. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube.
For free. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more apt to watch that than I am Skeleton Crew.
Oh, I totally assume. Like, I totally assumed that you owned all these. Like, I envisioned this laying on your couch and you took a picture of it. Is that how you looked at this too, Mike?
Yeah.
Especially with the choices. I thought these were like your steel boxes and stuff. But anyway, okay.
Most of them are, except for Hundreds of Beavers, because I think the physical just came out or is coming out, and I don't have that. So,
Do you plan on buying it?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
If I can get a good deal on it, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool, awesome. Bonus. What Patrick watched. Gotta love bonuses with the new year.
Had a lot of time to watch stuff.
Yeah.
Lucky.
You've had time too, Mike.
Yeah, we watched Interstellar
3 times.
3 sittings. Yeah.
There's been a lot of football going on too. We'll talk about that later too. Mike, are you ready?
Yes.
You know what you're doing?
Never gets old.
Very nice. All right, Mike, what you got?
All right. Some of these probably look familiar to a lot of people because they came out last week. So we've got 10 covers chosen from a list of 497, and the shelf date was Wednesday, January 8th. I had this ready to go. I liked this set of 10, so I didn't want to just do away with it, and so we're going with it.
Yeah, so they came out 3 days ago.
Yeah, is that the count? 3 days ago? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this past Wednesday. So sorry about it, everybody. It's totally my fault. Mike was prepared. So hopefully you can still find these on the shelf. I hope I can, because I want to grab a couple of them when I go there. You know. All right,
a little background on that Amazing Spider-Man. I caught on too late. Things had already started, but for this whole 8 Deaths of Spider-Man storyline, Scotty Young is doing a cover for each one. And as far as I know, they're all open order. I think there is a Virgin variant that's ratio, but yeah, they're all these really funny Spider-Man in typical spider predicaments. You know?
Is this the first one?
No, unfortunately not. I think this is, I didn't write it down. I was going to present them all, but then it became too much work. So I didn't. But anyway, let's start with that. Amazing Spider-Man 65 from Scotty
I thought
Young.
you were going to answer the question.
I did answer it. It's not the first one.
Right. That's not the answer. That's what it's not. I want to know, what is it?
Oh, I think it's the 4th one.
Daggum.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. Really? 4th?
Yeah.
How are we not seeing? Are these coming out bi-weekly right now?
I don't know. I'm not
Probably,
getting Amazing Spider-Man. So
I've read the first 2 parts of this story, so it's at least the third one. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Probably the 3rd then.
Yeah, how have we not seen any of these up to this point? Because I love the way you described that, Mike. That's awesome. These different Scotty Young takes on how a spider would be in a different predicament. Whatever you said, that was awesome. So, anyway.
And they're all really great. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get these. And then I saw it had already been released. I was like, I'm not gonna chase these things.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
Next up is Daredevil Unleash Hell #1 from Philip Tan. And then Absolute Batman #4, Francisco Francavilla. Uncanny X-Men 8, Nick Bradshaw, and that is the 1-in-25 ratio variant. Batman and Robin 17, Dustin Nguyen. Geiger #10, Gary Frank. Magic #1, J. Scott Campbell. DC versus Vampires. I can't remember what the subtitle for that one is. It's really long. #6 from Mark Spears. Namor 6, Alexander Lozano, and Red Sonja 17, Bjorn Barons. There you go.
All right, I got a lot to say about these whenever you're done showing us which one's won, though.
Okay.
Did you say how many different covers you had to choose from on this one?
Yes, 497.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Quite a few. All right. So coming in third, we've got Red Sonja 17, Bjorn Barons.
All right, I'm 1 for 1.
Yeah.
I love this cover. How about you, Pat?
I thought it was okay.
It's very action packed. I saw this happening as it was happening in a still motion. Yeah.
There's something with his covers. They kind of look like, I don't know, they put me in mind of that old Venom hologram card that you pulled years and years ago.
Yeah.
Just like a sculpted cover almost. I don't know. It's weird. They have a certain look to them.
Yeah.
All right. Next up in second place, we have the amazing Scotty Young. I thought this was going to be number one, just with all of our Scotty Young fans.
Yeah, I didn't even vote for this one. I like it a lot, but it didn't make my 3.
Yep. I
Did not make my 3 either.
I voted for it.
You were projecting, Mike.
Yeah.
Because I don't even think anybody in my family voted for this, come to think of it.
Ayla
voted for it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely cute.
Yeah, the kids, Ayla, Valor, and Marcus.
Makes sense. Checks out.
They voted for it.
I'll tell you this, though, Mike. I appreciate it more with the descriptor you gave it. It really makes it more fun for me. Seriously, no lie. That was a great way to put it.
Yep.
So, anyway.
All right. And in number
Hold on.
one.
I got a drum roll. Okay, hold on.
Position, drum roll, please. Batman and Robin. What number is this one? I lost it here. 17 from Dustin Nguyen.
Very nice.
Which is great because it's been a while since Dustin's been on any of our lists.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The first thing that made this cover stand out, and it was an easy first pick for me, was I'm like, man, you don't realize how much you miss Dustin Nguyen until you don't have him for a while.
Yeah.
Because I love this cover. Pat, where are you on this?
Yeah, I picked this one.
Awesome. Yep. Assuming you did too, Mike?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. And in Dustin news, Jeff Lemire just announced that he and Dustin are working on another book together. It is not, from what I understand, it's not sci-fi. It's going to have kind of a Western feel to it.
Okay.
The bad news is it's slated for is it next year? Maybe when I read that, it said 2025. I said, that's so far away. Anyway, it's a ways away.
Yeah.
It's a ways away. I don't even know if they've started. I think they have all the ideas and stuff, but Jeff's got so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
With Absolute Flash, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, so Pat, I've been dying to know, is this, you said this was, coming in hot or starting 2025 hot. Is it a dumpster fire hot, or were there you liked some of these?
That was a literal hot. Look at Geiger, look at Namor. They're both on fire. They're magic.
Oh,
okay.
No, I thought they were. I liked more than I didn't like this week. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was definitely a good hot.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's actually what I was thinking too, Mike, about his comment. I was like, does he mean this is a hot mess, or
yeah? Is he having a laugh?
But yeah, I thought this was great as well. And the other thing I want to add to this, and this is something I didn't mention in my little bonus at the beginning of the show regarding Marvel Rivals too. I think Marvel Rivals might cause, and maybe I'm projecting here, maybe I'm just hopeful, but seriously might cause like a resurgence in comics too if they play this right. Because
maybe.
Because like I said, there's a lot of reading, and they actually make reading the lore of the characters and then the current storyline they're currently in. Like I said, they're fighting Dracula. They have a reading in it that if you read it in the game, it gives you achievements too, which also, wow. It's an incentive, because then when you get achievements, you get coins. The coins translate to skins, yada, yada, it's the whole thing. So, all these gamer chasers, basically helps them along reading, not to mention, man, I've never been a bigger Namor fan. So I thought that was very cool. Namor's actually, ironically enough, they have a Wolverine, but I suck at him. So Namor is actually my favorite duelist, which is the DPS character, damage character, to play with. So when I saw this cover too, I'm like, Namor, dadgum, and so he's all over the place. I'm like, and then
I love that too.
Yeah, it's very awesome. I totally agree. I think that was my final pick that didn't quite make the cut because of the ASM. Well, yeah, what were your 3 picks too, Pat? You said Batman and Robin, and then what else?
Uncanny X-Men, the Rogue cover, and the Magic cover.
I didn't think you were a J. Scott Campbell fan. I thought you didn't like those long leg things, no?
No, I like J. Scott Campbell, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's his best cover. I think there's a little too much going on in the background. Yeah. Although then on the other side of the coin, we complain when he just does straight up pin-up shots. So
yeah, J. Scott Campbell's on Magic. Bradshaw is on Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's the other thing too. Magic is huge in Marvel Rivals. This is a perfect portrayal of what she looks like in Marvel Rivals as well. And she's a sick character. She's a real high skill character though, so you don't see her a lot. But when you do, you might as well just wrap it up. You're just like, I'm done. Okay, there's nothing to do here. I'm just gonna die to her because she's awesome in the game. So that's just looking at this really struck a nerve with me too with Marvel Rivals once again, not trying to sell it too much. We do need Rogue. We do need Daredevil. And I've already had conversations with people about how we need a DC Rivals now too. I mean, I need to do this with Batman. I need to, it's that kind of thing, So anyway, I thought this was a spectacular week. I'm glad you saved it, and I'm sorry I messed up everybody not being made aware of it until this week. So great stuff. Yeah. All right, you guys have anything else on that? Okay, cool. I guess no. What are we going to do next? I forget.
We're going to get some or
All right, I know it's getting old. I'm sorry, okay?
That's bad.
I almost stopped it after I started right away because you were saying it in such a funny way, Pat. What'd you say? We're either going to get some or what? What was the second part of that?
Forget some.
Okay. All right. How are we working this? Oh, yeah. Mike is first.
Always put me first.
Pat's second. Yeah, okay. All right, Mike, what you got?
All right. I read Dust to Dust. I highlighted this on our previous show, and I've been so excited for this book to come out. I read it twice. It's so
really
good. Yeah. I like it a lot.
Dust to dust to dust to dust.
Spoiler alert. Apparently, this is a get it then.
Yeah. I'll say it right now. It's a must-have.
It's a must-have.
So this came out day after Christmas, December 26th. This is one of 8. J.G. Jones and Philip Bram are the writers, and the artist is J.G. Jones. There's a lot of maybe later on I'll go and get some of the backstory on this. They met years and years ago, and they've talked about doing this for quite some time. I think over 10 years they've talked about doing this book. And, you know, I think finally things, you know, everything aligned up to where they were able to do it. So I'm glad they did. This takes place in Oklahoma in 1935 during the Dust Bowl period out in the Midwest. There's a gentleman named Olson. Him and his family they're pulling up stakes from their farm because they just can't make it anymore. They don't own the farm. They're working it for somebody. So it starts off with them just packing up and they're heading out. There's a man, Hillard. He's the one that owns it, and they still owe him money, but they just can't. They can't do it. They've got to head out. They're heading out to California. Hillard is upset with the sheriff because, you know, the sheriff was there when they were leaving, and he kind of just let them. And Hillard isn't too happy that the sheriff let them do that. So we're kind of getting a little bit of tension there. As this book goes along, it's kind of like a slow burn book. Supposedly in here, there's going to be a serial killer out there. We're not introduced to that character at all yet. I don't think, you know, we're just getting everybody's kind of who they are. But it's kind of like a slow burn as it goes on. There's the tension kind of like with the sheriff and Hillard. There's a little bit of tension there. It finalized. There's I guess, you know, they would sell off these farms if the farmers couldn't pay their taxes or their payments. The bank would sell them, and a lot of farmers would get together and kind of buy it and then give it back to them. So that's kind of what's going on at the end here. And there's an outsider that he's just looking to buy it. So there's a little, you know, fight starts there. So there's little instances where it's just slowly, a little bit at a time, you can feel it getting more tense. The artwork is stunning. I mean, it's just, if the story was boring, it would be worth it for just the artwork. But the story is just so well told. It's yeah, I'm in love with this. There's also another character right there. The woman, she is from the Tribune out of Chicago, and she's in town. Don't fully know exactly why she's there, like what she's doing, but her and the sheriff kind of hit it off. They go out for coffee, and in the background there of that bottom panel, that's Hillard coming in to, you know, address the sheriff as far as why he let Olson and his family leave. Here's just some more artwork. Really, really good. It's all the same colors. Every once in a while, there's a little tiny splash, but I think it kind of just sets it for that time. Everything, when you look back, you know, we see all the pictures in black and white from that era, but it's just all, you know, dusty and depressing. So lack of color.
Yeah.
Here is this is the variant cover, the 1 in 20 Olivia Coipel cover. So I you know, that's what the bad guy's going to look like. Can't wait to see him in hopefully issue 2.
Yeah, I feel like there was some trickiness with that A cover. Let me see the other one again.
Yeah, I mean, you've kind of got what's that?
Yeah, that's supposed to be like something else, but be the visual of the killer, right? I mean, it's like,
yeah, it's like that World War II gas mask coming down that looks like some roots and things like that.
Yeah, it looks like roots in a cavern, and that's water at the end of his. You guys see what I'm saying?
Kind of see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, when I look at it now, I just see the mask.
Right. It's just, you're supposed to see the mask, but it's, you guys are better at seeing stuff like this. Pat's always pointing stuff like this out. I'm like, wow, I didn't even see that. You guys have trained my mind to see past what I'm supposed to see initially.
Yeah. Well,
it's very
funny.
cool.
It's funny you say that. There are some neat things in here. which, obviously this one stood out to me is the Frankenstein poster.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Now, Frankenstein came out in 1931. It was re-released in 1935. So this is a re-release poster. We see there. It's the same one. And then also, there. I thought that was awesome. Now, this is the original poster in the bottom right corner. It has re-release. So that poster was used not for the initial 1931 release, but for the 1935 re-release. So I thought that was great a little thing to stick in there. And then we've got this book, Fairy and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry, edited by W.B. Yeats, famous poet. And we see that a couple times, like right here, the sheriff is getting it out of his saddlebag when he gets his drink. And then when he's in town, it gets knocked out of his saddlebag and on the ground. So I don't know why this book was highlighted twice. I have no clue.
Read it.
So, yeah, I guess I'll have to buy it and read it. It's affordable. You can get copies off Amazon, less than $10. So maybe I will.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Good idea, Pat. But anyway, this is a must-have. I think it's fantastic. Just yesterday, it was announced that it's gone back to second printing. It's sold out at the distributors. Some stores probably still have it on the shelves. It's still online. You can get it for cover price, so it's not going to be too difficult or expensive to get. But it is sold out at the distributor. So if you're going to get a copy, I'd grab one now. Who knows? The second printing will be out February 5th. And I don't know what the cover of that looks like yet. Hopefully they don't do a recolor of the A cover. I prefer them to do new artwork, but either way, I'll probably order it.
Awesome.
So that's a must-have. I love it. I can't wait for number 2. I'll read it in the parking lot.
Nice. Did you get around to watching that movie that was about this yet?
No, it is on my list.
Okay. I'll keep checking every time you talk about this.
Okay.
All right, Pat, what you got?
What I got is from a creative team that I've talked about in the past, and that is Mark Waid and Dan Mora, previously on Superman, Batman, World's Finest. I can't even find my place here. But they just launched their new book, Justice League Unlimited, and this is number 1. This came out probably a month ago. I've had shipment issues, as well documented. This it owes a lot to the animated series, Justice League Unlimited. This is coming on the heels of Absolute Power and All In, the big event books in the DC universe, where Amanda Haller took away or tried to take away the superheroes' powers. Some don't have them back yet. Some have mixed up powers. Their powers aren't quite right. And also dealing with the All-In fallout where Darkseid apparently is dead. Basically the Justice League says this sort of thing's not going to happen again. We're going to set up a worldwide network. Every superhero is in the Justice League, and they give them this card. They have a new watchtower they work out of. And they basically have like a mission control, and they select certain individuals, suited for certain crises. So it's very similar, like I said, to the cartoon, and that's not a bad thing. And we're kind of given the setup in issue 1 through the eyes of, it seems like a new character, but he's been around. I don't know if this is a new incarnation, and that's Airwave. He sort of has electromagnetic powers, radio wave powers. And you also kind of see it through the eyes of Star Sapphire there on the cover of the Green Lantern, sometimes villain, sometimes love interest, I believe, of Hal Jordan. So basically what's happening is there's these big war wheels being unleashed on Earth, and they don't know who's behind it. So they send out their heavy hitters to take care of it. They at the end, they find out it's by this new organization called Inferno that nobody's ever heard of. So it's a big mystery where these came from, what their ultimate end purpose is, what they're trying to get at. Basically, it seems like they're trying to burn down the world. So perfect for the Justice League to take on. There's also a secondary plot involving Blue Beetle and Batman. They're investigating missing children in South Africa. And they sort of stumble upon at the end. The big reveal is they see like this bed of like sort of like alien, as in the movie Alien, like pods, like egg pods. And that's sort of setting up the story for the next issue. It's very good. The artwork. I mean, I feel like I have this reoccurring theme where I'm like sort of nitpicking Dan Moore's artwork, but I love his art. Here it seemed like maybe there was the battle scenes were a little bit too messy and confusing. I think he's more suited. I like his character work better. I think that's his strong suit, and there's not a lot of it in this issue. It's more of these big battle scenes. But that's just this issue. We're going to talk about number 2 here in a minute. And at the end of this issue, they throw you a big twist that one of the members of Justice League Unlimited possibly might not be on the same page as them, let's just say. So I won't spoil who that is, but it's, he pops up again in number 2. Oops, sorry.
Narrowed it down.
So I was gonna this was all I was gonna talk about, but luckily I had really quick back-to-back shipments, so I got number 2 the other day, so I was able to read number 2. And that, like I said, it was dealing with the plot that was started in issue 1 about the pods, and it turns out that these pods are parademons hatching on Earth.
Oh man.
It's this is one thing that kind of I never understand is there's all these different looks to the parademons. They always seem to look different. From this cover, I would have never guessed that these were parademons here from Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And sure, that differs from artist to artist, but this seems like a new sort of design for them.
I wonder if that whole new look is gonna tie into the New Gods, because they're kind of redoing that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's kind of be similar to that.
And that's something that it can be said here. That's a good segue to this. Seems like, first of all, you have Mark Waid as the writer. He's like the ultimate historian, history nerd in comics. He knows all these obscure characters from forever, and he's picking and choosing characters not only to be on the Justice League, but they're also using this wisely. I think this is a brilliant move by DC. It is like they have like certain subsets on the Watchtower that are tasked to perform these specific, tasks, and they're using that as a jumping off point to these other books. Like, you don't have to go read them, but they're saying, here's what these people do, and here's a book if you want to read more about them. They did it like 3 or 4 times in both of these issues. Like, they set up the Challengers of the Unknown, who are sort of like they do all sort of catch all characters for the tower. They solve all kinds of problems, but they're going to get their own book. They have a book of the Atoms, that not only the original Atom, but I think the Mike Choi Atom plus Captain Atom's also going to be in the book. They're sort of charged with getting the powers back and restored for the characters that lost them during the Absolute Power event. So they're sort of the genius scientists behind everything. But they talk about them, then they say, well, here's a brief preview of their book. And the Question, Batman tasked the Question, who's currently Renee Montoya. He wants her on the Watchtower to keep an eye on everybody to make sure there's no shenanigans. So maybe she'll catch on to this infiltrator. I don't know. But this issue was a much more character driven, and it was, I think, much more suited to Dan Moore's artwork. I thought it was much better artistically. Certainly a better spotlight for his talents, I think. They, like I said, they basically find out it's the parademons are involved. They set up the fixing the metahumans power restoration. They also set up that Martian Manhunter, he was kind of not forthcoming with the rest of the Justice League. His powers, some of his powers have been restored, but some of them are not there. And he's having all these conflicting feelings. And at the end, he kind of goes off on his own. So they're going to kind of have to investigate the mystery, what's going on with him. And they talk again about, they have Mr. Terrific on the Watchtower trying to figure out who this new threat of Inferno is. So it's not a must-have yet. I'd say it's a strong get it, as was Batman Superman World's Finest from this creative team. I think we'll see where it goes from here, but I think the strengths are Mark Waid's history and tying all these obscure characters. He can bring in any character he wants for this book. And then Dan Moore's artwork is great. And also using this as like a launching pad for everything DC has going on. So yeah,
it seems like a lot of thoughts put into it.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to ask you, did they express in the book where they draw the line for all superheroes are in Justice League now?
They haven't really talked about that. They just sort of in that all-in special.
Yeah,
they showed different superheroes like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Trinity going out and handing off the cards to everybody.
Huh.
So
interesting.
they basically want everyone to be tied together and be able to be used at any time for crises suited to their strengths. So
Yeah,
good superhero book.
Awesome. I kind of went that direction as well. This vacation, but more specifically to the time of year it was. Because I grabbed a batch of Christmas book. Basically, every Christmas themed comic that came out in December, I grabbed. So I want to read a couple of those and see if they're letting me down or whether they're as good as I hope they were, just based on the cover. First up, I got. Actually, no, I don't want to start there. First up, I got Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns, which was Batman Santa Claus. I don't know whether you know or not, Pat or Mike. Was it the first? They did this last year for the first time, right? Batman Santa Claus Silent Night. It's a one shot, but it's a sequel one shot. So
okay.
And I picked this cover because this is actually the cover, and I'll just show you this. That came in the wrapping paper. Was actually the comic was in a bag.
Okay.
That would look like wrapping paper that just had the title on it. I just keep my bags in the back, but of course I opened it. And this is the cover I got. So I didn't even know the cover that was in the bag until I opened it, which was kind of a cool thing, of course, going along with the whole Christmas theme, opening a present and seeing what you get. And I was extremely happy with this. Not only because I like the cover, but this is what I thought was hilarious. So this is a Dan Hip cover. And I thought this was hilarious the way they described it. This is a rub and smell cover. So it's like, scratch and sniff. What's wrong with calling it a scratch and sniff? It's a rub and smell.
That sounds worse.
Maybe there's like scratch and sniff might be like
trademarked
or something. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. I was talking to Ayla about it, and she's like, this isn't a scratch and sniff. I'm like, yeah, it is. It says right. Oh, it says rub and smell. Because that's totally different. I'm like, come on, that's synonymous. But anyway, sure enough, do you guys want to guess? And I've got it right here in front of me. And I think maybe, and this is the other thing I thought, maybe they call it a rub and smell because you don't want to scratch your book up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So you rub it and smell it. You want to smell it? Do you want to guess what the smell is on this cover? Gives you a lot of options in the picture.
I'd say there's probably two choices.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Pat, you go one, I'll go the other.
All right. I'll go for the less obvious hot cocoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I was going to say that or coffee.
I know. This smells like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, obviously. Obvious. I'm on the same page with Pat. Not even.
Which it's fine, but you know what it smells. I can put this smell in both y'all's brains immediately. Just envision the tree air fresheners you had hanging in your car.
Yep.
The actual evergreen scent or whatever. That's exactly what this cover smells like. So anyway,
hey, what book is it though? I stepped away for a second.
Yeah, it's okay. This is Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns #1.
Oh man, see, I got last year's and I almost got this, but didn't make the cut.
Yeah, it came in the wrap. That's what you may have missed too. It came in. It was in a bag that looked like wrapping paper, so I had to unwrap it.
That's great. Did all of them come in that bag? All the covers are just like this one surprise.
This is
cover.
the only one I saw, so I don't know. Can't answer that question.
Man, that's great.
Yeah, it was very cool. That's what I was saying when you stepped out for a second. This is a sequel to. So was last year the first time they put that out? Batman Santa Claus Silent Night.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was good. I just budget cuts.
Yeah, and they mentioned it was about Krampus last year. And this year it's kind of a mystery villain. It looks kind of like a skeletal, ghostly crusader, from the Crusades. It's called the Eternal Crusade. This guy, this scary floating demon type crusade looking creature is going around with a sword. And basically all he has to do is touch people with this sword and it mummifies them. So, of course, the Justice League gets wind of this and has to stop it. But when they go to stop it, it's actually impervious to anything they offer to hurt it. But then it can also do to them what it does to everyone else, except instead of mummifying them, it basically mummifies them for, basically makes them very stiff and they lose their powers for a minute, and it definitely messes with them. It doesn't actually mummify them like a human being, regular human, but and Batman doesn't get touched because he's too spry for that. But Superman's all in, so he's like goes to just whack him, and dude touches him with a sword, and Superman's all like, he's like all catatonic. So basically, what happens in this, it's real short because there's actually a bonus Two-Face #1 4 pages preview in the back, which I hate that in books. I shouldn't say I hate it, because sometimes if I'm interested in it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But if I wanted more of this story and I don't care about Two-Face #1, I'm like, man, just give me 4 more pages of this story. Because it was pretty interesting, because basically Robin and Flash's daughter, what's her name, Pat?
Who knows these days?
Yeah.
Flash has a daughter?
Yeah. I can't remember her name right now either. But basically, Robin and Flash's daughter escape this initial battle with this thing that the Justice League thought they were going to take down easily, and they aren't. And then they go to try to recruit Zatanna and Constantine, because this seemed very up their alley kind of stuff. And in the midst of their talking to Zatanna and Constantine, well, actually, they talk to more Zatanna. Constantine checks out. He's like, no, I'm not doing this, and checks out right away. So they're still trying to get Zatanna involved. Santa Claus shows up, and he's like, oh, yeah, I have experience with this guy. And it's actually a reference. Did you say you read last year's, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually a reference. It was one of Krampus's minions, I guess this guy is, from last year's issue. That escaped. I guess he said there was like 2 or 3 that escaped, and this is one of those guys. So that's how Santa gets involved. So that's where we currently are at the end of this. I thought this was a one-shot too, but apparently this is continuing to a couple.
Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 issues last year, maybe 6. Jeez.
Okay, I thought it was a one-shot. So anyway, yeah, I need to get more of these. I really enjoyed it. The art's good, and the story's interesting. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, pretty cool. I'm it's one of those things where when it's solicited, I make a decision like I'm just not going to get it, and then it comes out, and I kick myself. It's like, man, I should have just got it, knowing myself.
Did you get all the Christmas covers with the?
Oh no,
who did those again? I always forget.
I
Chrissy
can't remember
Zulo.
what her name was.
Chrissy Zulo.
Yeah. I didn't get any. I got Batman last year.
I got all of them except Green Lantern because they're awesome.
Yeah. Try not to buy books just for the covers. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
we've been
hard. I got a couple ordered.
It is there. But then also, this isn't all I read. I also read. Wait, that's not it.
There's a book.
I also read Batman Smells. Robin laid an egg. This is a double-sized.
Yeah, double priced.
Yeah, the book that has 8 short stories in it. This cover is by Riley Rosmo, and obviously various artists and writers in the book. And the first thing I will complain about this book, guess what my complaint is right out the gate, Mike?
I would say the price. This is why I didn't get it.
No.
Square bound? I don't know.
No, this it is square bound too, which I don't mind that though. But this cover, it's awesome, right?
Yes.
Not a single character on this cover is in a single one of these 8 short stories in this book.
Wait, it's called DC's Batman Smells Robin Laid an Egg, and Batman and Robin are not anywhere in it.
I will, one caveat, the short answer to that is yes, but the caveat to it is this Robin on the cover is obviously Damian Wayne.
Yeah.
But Damian Wayne is not in this, but there is a different Robin in it, which I'll explain in a minute. But yeah, no Poison Ivy, no Batman, not even a snippet of them in
This
the
is
book.
the A cover.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know, it's crazy. I don't get it. But anyway, like I said, this is 8 short stories. So I just want to cover the gist of a couple. I'll give a snippet of every one, but a gist of a couple. So the first one stars John Stewart, Green Lantern, on an adventure with Mrs. Claus. The second one stars the Secret Six, and it basically follows Bane trying to understand how Secret Santa works with the Secret Six, which is pretty funny and clever. And the first one, John Stewart's adventure with Mrs. Claus, it's really boring. It's a pass. Secret Six and Secret Santa is pretty interesting. Then John Constantine, The Ghost of Christmas Present, is a Christmas Carol kind of deal. And it had a lot of promise. I was like, oh, this could be cool. Right. But it was weird, and I didn't enjoy it at all, and the art kind of sucked. So a hard pass on that one as well. Then they did a story with the Joker called It's a Criminal Life, which is a play off It's a Wonderful Life.
Wow.
What makes this even more interesting was that this is the one that Robin is actually in, but it's Jason Todd's Robin, who obviously the Joker killed.
Yeah.
That comes back and needs to prove to Joker how he wants to live, because at the beginning of the story, Joker, similar to It's a Wonderful Life, Joker wants to commit suicide because everybody starts mocking him as being a has-been villain. He's not even scary anymore. He's like, my life's over. Then he goes to kill himself. Jason Todd is, like I said, this is really ironic. Jason Todd comes to save Joker from trying to kill himself by proving to him he's got reasons to live.
Yeah.
And then Jason will get his wings and I guess go to heaven at that point. So I guess ever since the 90s, Jason Todd's in limbo waiting to get his wings, according to the story.
That's funny.
But anyway, and spoiler alert on this if you want to check out. But at the end of the story, it's really funny because Jason's trying to prove Joker there's reasons for him to live, to be a good person, since he's a failed villain. And all Joker, but during the adventures they go through, Joker proves to himself how this world, he just needs to be crazier.
That's funny.
It is pretty funny. And then Dead Man is in a story called Dead Man Walking, which is a completely dialogue-free. Oh no, that's not it. Dead Man's in one where which this was probably my favorite one of the book. This mine collapses on miners, and Dead Man has to assist to save the miners. And it's very feel good, written well. I enjoyed it a lot. Then Dr. Midnight's Silent Night is the sixth story, and that one is completely dialogue free, which I didn't even know anything about Dr. Midnight at all, but this seems very interesting, and it's a very feel-good one that I liked a lot as well. Then Vixen in The Perfect Gift, which is a very fun, clever story starring Vixen just trying to figure out what she wants to get her boyfriend for Christmas. And what's funny about this is she has these adventures in the story, and as she's fighting villains, she's like interrupting the fight, asking, so do you think that'd be a good gift for him? You know, like these little funny things that are happening during the fights and all these adventures she's going on, so I thought that one was pretty good too. And then lastly, Superman in a story called Oh Glowy Night, where all of a sudden he starts glowing. So basically he goes to every supervillain he's ever known to be like, did you do this to me? Did you do this to me? Did you do this to me? It's fairly entertaining, but ultimately not really that good. So out of the 8 stories that are in here, I'd say 3 of them are hard passes. 2 of them are must-haves as far as Christmas stories are concerned. And 3 of them are good old get-its. So
is it worth the $10? It's hard.
In a hypothetical world where I didn't think this book would ever be cheaper later, is that the question?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to say yes. Yeah.
I love the cover. And a few of those sound good. That's the thing with these $10 books. It's hit or miss. You know, sometimes, you know, the lesser quality creators are given some pages in these books, and you're just like, come on, man. Yeah.
I've actually got 2 more Christmas. Like I said, I grabbed every Christmas comic there was on the shelf when I was in there. I've got 2 more. I might do it check those out for next episode, because, you know, obviously Christmas is over, but these were still a lot of fun. So,
yeah. Awesome.
That is all I read. You know, I wish with this new change they've got with StreamYard, I wish they would have just put the music in a separate folder rather than separating. You know what I'm saying? How they're doing this. So anyway, that's my my humble opinion. All right, cool, good stuff. I think that was all good. I love an all good, get it or forget it.
Yep.
All right.
One of these days, it's kind of, well, I don't know. I read so many different things. Like sometimes I read something and I'm not enjoying it. Like, I'm not going to review that. It's not fun. And so I never really have a hard pass, because I'm always like, I'm not even going to finish it.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. That's true.
I don't pick one particular and say, this is the one I want to review. Well, sometimes I do.
You wait until after you've read it to decide.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like I'll read 3 or 4 and say, well, I'm going to review this one. So if I read a bad one, I'm like, okay, that doesn't excite me. I'm blah. So I don't know.
Well, maybe. The only comment I have to that is you should tell us about those too. Like if you read something and you decide not to review it or not to even finish it because it sucks, you should just make that like a passing mention, you know?
Right.
So the viewers know, you know, so no one else picks up the trash.
Oh, the first 4 pages, they were terrible. I don't know about the rest of it.
Right.
All right. Here's one for you then. Absolute Superman _1. I read that. I did not think it was very good.
Okay.
That's the only issue I got.
You didn't get Absolute Batman?
Yeah, I'm getting all of Absolute Batman.
Oh, you're saying as far as Superman is concerned.
Yeah, I just got the first issue. I can't remember why. I think it was a cover. I don't know.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right, Pat. You ready to give us some hot toys for a cold night?
I am.
All right, awesome.
All right. Initially, I didn't think there was going to be much. So I kind of made some sort of odd choices, perhaps, but I still think they're kind of cool. The first one is from the Four Horsemen, their Mythic Legions line. We had talked about this guy in the past, Leodicius, the lion figure.
Yeah.
It turns out there's a whole wave of them.
Oh
There's the shot of the all of them together. So right off the bat, it's called, what is it called? It's called Reign of the Beasts. And there's Leodicius, who we talked about before. Now, I don't know if I talked about his price. And he's a big guy.
Jeez, those are nice.
There's his alternate heads and hands and his big hammer. $100 for this guy. $100.
What's how big did you say he is?
I didn't. I don't have it written down here, but I think generally these are 6-inch scale figures, but he's like a big oversized one, so he's probably like
8
10
or something. No, 10.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem too bad actually for that then. I mean, obviously it's expensive. I'm not going to buy it, but look at that quality, and if it's a bigger one, that doesn't, by today's standard, that doesn't seem too crazy.
And that tape is cloth, right?
Looks like it, or usually it's possibly mixed. Yeah, that looks like cloth with wire, perhaps, in the cape. I was gonna say it's kind of hard. They didn't show them all together except for here, maybe, to get an idea of the scale. So you see Leodicius there. He's by like a more human, although we'll get to that. He's not exactly human character, so he is bigger. But in this pic, it doesn't look he's much bigger, but it's hard to tell. So yeah, Leodicius, there's his pack out.
Awesome.
This next one is the Golden Pride of Leandor, which is who was in that shot with him. Now he comes with an alternate head, so there's like his like feline mode, and there's like his human mode with a massive shield.
Are you sure that's not just a helmet?
I am not sure.
Because the rest of his body's still human.
Is it? I don't know. It might be.
I don't know either. Obviously, I'm just questioning. So that's cool though.
There's his entire pack out. I think you can have the helmet and the human face, or just a totally human unhelmeted look. So you can actually get like 3 options out of this.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Lots of different hands. They do look like human hands, Kevin. I'll give you that.
What's this from?
It's from nothing. This is what Four Horsemen does, is they create these lines, and that's the good and the bad, because they have no marketing push behind it. It's like cool, they just make these, they make these awesome designed characters, and they don't really have ties to anything.
Story. Well, there we go. That's a perfect avenue for somebody to create a story.
Yeah.
Around these characters.
I want to see this movie.
Right? Yeah. And they've been doing this for years. They've had many different lines of action figures where they just create these fantasy. They've done like, sort of this Greek Roman, whatever you want to call it. They've done sci-fi. They've done, horror based or things like that. So anything they can pick from. And a lot of times what you'll see is and you'll see it here too, in a way, is they'll do like variations on a theme. Like if they're doing a lion character, they can perhaps reuse the lion parts for a different figure. So that sort of thing happens just to help cut down on costs of tooling entirely new figures for them.
Yeah.
The next one here is, what's her name? Basilia. She's sort of like a snake.
Very cool
Woman. There's her pack outs. She doesn't have an alternate head. Back up prices. Like I said, Leodicius 100, Golden Pride of Leandor. He's 50, so he's half the price of the huge lion guy. The Basilia is 55. See, these prices. This is one thing, like not a catch-all price point for the whole way. It depends on how big the figure is.
Gotcha.
I like that.
Yeah.
Araya, the Talon Bearer. Okay. So there's her pack out. stuff.
Because she has a dragon's talon, probably. Or I don't know what kind of talon.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
These are
making
great
up,
designs.
yeah, you're making up
Yeah.
the story right as you go along, Mike. You got it.
Yeah, look at me.
The Gehenna Brute. He's like a genie type character.
Ah, very cool.
You can have the effect of him coming out of the lamp, or you can have his lower half
Jeez.
swaps out. He
Nice.
is 75.
What?
So you sort of see what's going on here. He's
Yeah.
a bigger, plus he has he's like two figures in one practically. So
Yeah.
he's gonna cost a little more. Next we have Windaji the Cackler. He's like a hyena beast looking dude.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, geez, that's wicked.
He looks like he'd be the minion, like of all of these other guys.
Yeah. There's his pack out. You know, two very cool heads, I think, on this guy.
Yeah.
Weapons too. The weapons are cool.
And the sculpt is great because I mean, when you see it, there's no question it's a hyena. I mean, it's
Right.
Yeah.
so well done.
And then I think the final one here is Serpent Spire Royal Guard.
That's what I was going to say. A Royal Guard for that serpent lady. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So he can have the helmet off or on. And there's his pack out.
Very cool.
So as always, you know, they're definitely pricier figures, but they pack a ton of detail into these. And paint job. Paint apps are a big thing. Paint apps are often taken for granted. You know, like Hasbro pumps out a wave of figures, and what they have to do is they have so many instances of paint apps throughout the entire wave, and they have to sort of manage who gets what. Now that's not happening here. You know, that's why you're paying more for these more deluxe figures, because they don't skimp on the paint detailing. Everyone gets their due, I guess, you know, let's say it that way. All right. So yeah, there's, again, I'll show the wave. That's kind of all of them together. And if you go to their website, or you go to any of the pre-order websites, they have a lot of these, you know, glamour shots where they have these intricate backgrounds behind them, and they just look awesome.
No box pics or box art or anything?
Nah, I don't have anything for that. I think normally there's not much spectacularly going on in the packaging. I think they're window boxed, but I'm not 100%. I don't have any of their figures. I just think they look awesome. And I've never gone down the road of
actually
picking up any of their Mythic Legions figures.
Well, I can't wait until you do.
do they have any recognizable lines, or are they all just what they make up?
They themselves, this Mythic Legions, it's all their own brand. I mean, Four Horsemen got their start working for Todd McFarlane. They were the original sculptors for McFarlane Toys, and they gained a following and kind of split off on their own. And they have done work for, you know, your Hasbros or your Mattels or whatever, but they mainly now they concentrate on their own brand and their in-house lines of action figures, and they usually kickstart them. They crowdfund them, and then they, you know, that was initially how they did it. Then they started just doing like pre-orders, and they said, well, if they don't meet the pre-orders, we won't make this line. Sort of the same thing, but you know, I don't think anything's never not gone into production for them. They're very successful. They got a big following behind them, just not a mainstream following.
Are you basically saying the Four Horsemen imaged Todd McFarlane?
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Next up, this is I just put this in here for Valor because I showed it to him because he's a big Fortnite fan. That's the Fortnite Battle Bus coming from Lego. $100. So you get a lot of 2, 4, 6, 8,
awesome.
9 minifigures there. So
I'm going to say awesome for two reasons. Can we sit on this for a second? One, first of all, thank you, Valor, for getting your dad to put a cool Fortnite or Lego thing on here. And two, we need more Lego. And three, I'm not a Fortnite fan, but this is a cool Lego. If you know anything about Fortnite, this is this is totally cool. Very
And
awesome.
you get a digital item for the game.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. That that's that cross marketing.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
I want this just for the minifigs.
Yeah, no, that's the same way with the Office. That big Office set.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember if it came with 10 or 12 minifigures, and you're like, you're basically getting your value out of it there because they charge like $5 for the minifigures retail. So, I've sorry, excuse me. On the subject of that, I've seen that postings of people finding that Office set on clearance lately at Walmart.
Oh, really?
Pricey. Yeah, it's still like $75, but yeah. This
cool.
next one is a head scratcher, and it's produced by McFarlane. So there you go. This is the dang it. Oh yeah, it's there. This is the Superman red and blue statue. All right, and this is based on this Gary Frank cover, Superman red and blue, #1. So I think it's a very nice sculpt, but I think they're making a mistake making him, a 1-for-1 version of the cover and making him blue, Yeah,
because if you don't know the reference to that cover, which to me, I mean, it's not that legendary of a cover. It's a really great cover, but it's not the Dark Knight Returns,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of just looking at it and you're questioning, why is he blue? Is it that cold? He's not.
I wish there was some better I mean, you get it there. You can I think that's definitely, you can see the Gary Frank coming through in that head sculpt, but I wish there was a more straight on shot I could see. If they would ever, and this is certainly within the realm of possibilities, re-release this in normal colors, this could be a potential pickup for me. But this is, we saw there, it's 110 scale, so it's a little over 10 inches. And it's coming in at $170 retail.
Dang. Huh.
So yeah, back in the day, I'd drop $170 on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And then I'd paint them.
Yeah,
it's very cool. Very cool, though.
All right. Before we finish it off with the pricey things, this just came out. This news came out yesterday. This is hot off the Horizon Press. Super 7 announced they're doing reaction figures of the Micronauts. And these are the first two offerings, Baron Karza and Biotron. Now, these are 3 3/4 inch figures. Traditionally, Super 7 reaction figures are 5 points of articulation. Recently, and we talked about it when they were doing the big Cobra mothership, that they were going to start doing some O-ring figures, which is more like the traditional G.I. Joe figures, where instead of hard plastic joints, they use a rubber banding O-ring system interior of the chest cavity that sort of hooks their arms and legs together to their torso. And that's what they're doing here. Now, traditionally, Micronauts were magnetic based. Unfortunately, that's not happening here, much to the dismay of some Micronauts fans out there, but they are going the route of making these O-ring figures, and they're making them 12 points of articulation. So they're a little bit above and beyond their typical 5-point reaction figures, but they're not quite traditional Micronauts figures either. So there's the two of them side by side with their card art, which Super 7's card art's always on point. There's the back. I think what's interesting about this is they're sort of borrowing that like power grid from the Transformers. There's probably an official name for that, so pardon me, Transformers fan. But it's kind of neat because the Transformers and the Micronauts kind of sprang out of the same idea in Japan way back when. So I think it's kind of a neat reference nod to Transformers doing that file card deal. There's Baron Karza close up. I didn't forget you, Kevin. There's from the back.
Thank you.
There's Biotron from the front, which this is kind of weird too, because they rehashed and repurposed a lot of the figures to do the Micronauts line by Mego in the States. They pulled from from actually different lines of toys in Japan. So like Baron Karza wasn't even related at all to the Micronauts line in Japan. So the scales of the toys were all over the place. So, now we're getting a Micronauts line where everybody's the same scale. So I don't know if that's to the, it's a positive or to the detriment. I don't know. Sorry, there's Biotron from the back.
Thanks.
His little plug in there for his treads. I used to have Biotron was one of the few Micronauts figures I had when I was a kid. I think the only thing somehow his head survived. I have his head somewhere. It was that cool vac metal silver, so at least kept his head. And Baron Karza always fascinated me, but I don't believe I ever even saw him on the shelf. And I think he was sort of an oversized figure. He was based on the robot Jeeg from Japan. I was gonna pull him out of my display case, but he's too far back in there. But they also they were Takara in Japan, and they used the magnetic joints as well. But like I said, he wasn't even related to the rest of the Micronauts. They gave him a new head, and I remember from the comics because I thought he always looked cool, sort of that Darth Vader-ish villain. Cool design, but yeah. So that's your reaction.
Did you read the comics back in the day?
Hit and miss. Yeah. It was never one I followed, but it was one like I would pick up, if I found them at a flea market or in a 3-pack or something like that.
Shameless plug, in all the organization that I've been able to do at Xcellar during the snowstorm we've had, we have a lot of Micronauts, Mike. Did you know that?
Do we?
Yeah, we probably have like 50 to 60 Micronaut comics.
Every time I find them, I've got this secret place that I go that I don't want to tell anybody about. They have a bunch of 50-cent and dollar books. The Micronaut books are $3. Like, you jerks.
Yeah, we've got a lot. Maybe I should not try to sell those for $1 on the show, or maybe I should. Check out.
I think $1 is a good price for most of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the thing. I don't want to pay $3 for them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Right.
It feels like we got a big pack of them. Like they must have come in that big deal we got, a few years ago. So anyway, very cool. Very cool.
Two things. One, I'm noticing right now that they have branded these Reaction Plus right there in the packaging, so that makes sense because they're a little above and beyond their normal Reaction figures. The second part is for you, for sure. Go check out Kevin's Whatnot auctions and buy them for $1. But we talked in the past during our previous preview. Plug for previous preview, folks. Catch our show's previous preview, but we had spotlighted the Micronauts omnibuses in the past, and I've seen at least the first and second one on very, very steep discounts if you are so inclined to search around for those things. So
very cool. Every time I see them, I think I need to make the time to try to read them. That's for sure, because I've never read one. There's
some great Mike Golden artwork in the beginning. So
yeah, put them on the Whatnot. I mean, read them and then put them on the Whatnot.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna finish it off with some hot toys for your cold nights. So your wallet's gonna be burning after you see all these. And typically, there was a lot of announcements in these last couple weeks, so I didn't go and I'm not gonna show you all the individual shots. Basically, these are like the pack out, telling you everything you get. We'll start with Star Wars, and first we have Plo Koon,
yeah.
Twisting my tongue.
You know what? I like talking this randomness in the middle of interrupting you. Sorry, Pat. We had the whole conversation about you talking about the pick 3 coming in hot for the new year.
Yes.
Right. And what the different definitions of hot means there. Literally, I don't know where you were, Mike. I'm interested to hear what you have to say on this, Mike. Whenever from Pat's teaser about hot toys coming in for cold night, I thought they were hot, like they were good, like these were, not literally hot toys. I was thinking these were hot toys, like popular, hot, whatever. Yeah. So it's so funny how hot was all over the place. So this episode, were you thinking literal hot toys, Mike?
No, I was thinking Hot Toys, the company.
No, that's what I meant. Okay, so you were thinking the company. I was just thinking popular
Company
hot toys. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
But I was thinking Batman since they were cold nights, and I'm hoping that we get Batman here.
Oh, you're
thinking it's
spoiling
gonna
it.
be
Yeah, you're spoiling
Jedi
it. Mike.
Knight.
I could notice that I
Oh.
changed the wording of my teas last minute. So yeah, there was a purpose behind it. You could go either way. We're gonna start it off with a knight, and we're gonna end it with a knight. How about that?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Plo Koon is my third favorite Jedi Knight, by the way. He's awesome. He is so cool. I have a lot of history with Plo Koon. Not only my history actually started with a tabletop game, which I love, called Jedi Unleashed, but then continued on with the Clone Wars, the original Clone Wars cartoon, which is he's so awesome in that. And then in the TV show, Plo Koon is so awesome. What do you think of Plo Koon, Pat? I mean, aside from how awesome this hot toy is.
Yeah, I wish he would have had more to do. He's a cool designed character.
All right, continue. Sorry.
All right, we're gonna stick with hot toys, and we're gonna go to expanded universe. I don't think he's in actual canon, but I could be wrong. Darth Malgus. Oh, sorry. Let's back up. Prices $280 for Plo Koon. $305 for Darth Malgus.
Oh my
Malgus or Malgus, Kevin?
Malgus.
Yeah.
I say Gus. Yeah. Yeah, he's redonkulous.
You see a lot of options there for him too.
And I do concur that he's just expanded universe.
Yeah.
And I have a stat where I should say I had a statue. I technically still have it, but I just let Tyler take it because obviously he's got a lot of great displaying going on. He just got a new house, so it's got a lot more space. So I let him have it so he can actually display it, because where I was displaying it was kind of in a back corner in my shed. But yeah, it looks very similar to this. And well, I mean, obviously the character looks similar wherever you put him, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
A statue of Darth Malgus came with the Old Republic video game. That's the version I bought that actually came with the video game. It's 12-inch statue. It's awesomeness, but he's very cool.
Yeah, as you're gonna, as we go throughout these, I'll mention it now. They typically always have the features like they're showing you the separate rolling eyeballs. He has a lot of light up features, his lightsaber and his different buttons on his chest panel, and his base lights up too. So a lot of cool things going on there.
That's probably what makes him cost $150 more than Plo Koon, I guess. Huh?
Yeah. Next up, sticking with Star Wars, Clone Commander Wolf. He is $280, same as Plo Koon.
Very cool.
And then to go along with.
Wait, I thought you said Plo Koon was 100 and something. You said Plo Koon was 280?
Yeah, he's 280.
And then Darth Malgus was 305.
Yeah, I wasn't going to question your math because I'm looking
at it. Sorry, that's why I butchered that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right. Now we've got it all straightened out.
Yeah.
Along to go with the Clone Commander Wolf, we have the 104th Wolfpack Clone Commander. And there's two versions of this. There's the regular and the deluxe. The regular is $225, and then the deluxe exclusive is $260. And you can kind of see the deluxe, that little window in blue at the top is what you get extra with the blue version. So
very cool.
All right. Moving away from Star Wars onto Deadpool Wolverine territory. First, we have Nice Pole. Who includes he gets a newly developed dog pole.
Nice. That's hilarious. This better be $50 though, because no one wants this guy.
Oh yeah, $350 for sure, Kevin. No, $305. $305.
Jeez.
They have to pay Ryan Reynolds for this one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I mean, I know that obviously Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I'm not a fan of action figures or statues that resemble the actor that played them in the movie. I don't know why.
What?
It's a weird thing.
Well, you just wait. Michael Pinchak. You just wait.
Hold on. Can you please
Batman? That I love it.
can you please say that again? That was a mouthful. You're not a fan specifically of action figures that resemble the actors that play the characters, or
Right.
of characters of the actor playing that character in movies.
Yes. Yeah, because if I had this, it's like I look at him like I see Ryan Reynolds. I don't see Deadpool, I see Ryan Reynolds.
No, gotcha. That's funny.
That's weird.
I think I sort of follow along those lines because I don't typically collect movie action figures.
Mhm.
I'd rather have the comic book version of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they're gonna give you in this next one. Because also from Deadpool Wolverine, we have the Human Torch. I don't know about this one.
See, I like that one. You know why?
Because it does look like Chris Evans.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on with this one.
That's crazy. Yeah, how'd they butcher that, right?
Yeah. Well, you know,
I mean, obviously it looks cool. It just
to,
doesn't look like Chris Evans.
Yeah, all the budget went to the Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So he is 305 as well. So I don't know. They're paying somebody something here. I don't know.
It's so weird. It's so weird how it looks like Chris Evans while simultaneously looking nothing like Chris Evans. You know, it's like so.
Maybe it's his mouth. I think it's his mouth.
This is what I always say. It's obviously which is amazing about artwork in general, whether it's physical media or on a page or whatever. There's so many small details that could set something off. It's amazing when it's done so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think his pants look a little baggy there too. I thought his pants were like tighter, but I wasn't really looking at his pants. So
yeah,
right. Yeah.
I was just we've all seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
I was just shocked that it wasn't Captain America.
Yeah. So was Deadpool.
Everybody else, right?
Yeah. and actually, my favorite. This might shock you guys knowing me. My favorite gratuitously vulgar moment of all time, which I'm not a fan of that, was the after credits.
Oh my goodness!
It's so hilarious.
If that ever solidified, if Valor would ever watch this movie, it was that.
Right? Yeah.
It's like holy mackerel!
But it was so hilarious. Him, we're thinking he's just being Deadpool during the movie, but then he provides the evidence in the after credits. It's so funny, so funny.
Yeah, that's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
All right. Enough Deadpool Wolverine. How about just for you, Kevin, a little late Christmas present? How about some Batman and Robin hot toys?
Oh man, sweet.
Yeah, Robin.
Oh, look how cool, Mike.
Oh.
All right, now this one's tricky, Mike. Kind of looks like him.
Yeah, I agree. Not 100% nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you that one on the right, way his nose and mouth did, that looks like Max.
Yeah, I can see it.
That looks like Max. That's funny.
That looks awesome, though. Don't tell me this is the only one you have from Batman and Robin.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Cool. $260. What a bargain.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Jeez, oh man.
I don't know if that's because there's like no unmasked head where they have to pay Chris O'Donnell his royalties or what's going on, but it's the same for our next guest coming in at $5 more. Batman.
Awesome. That's awesome. Wait.
Are you sure it's awesome, Kevin?
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I mean, we're not the movie aside right now. We're not saying this isn't awesome, right? I mean, but did he ever look like that in the movie? Where he was completely 100% flat black?
And are his abs that well defined that they need space in the suit to occupy?
Okay, regardless of that, Pat, can you answer my question?
Well, Kevin, you're the Batman and Robin expert, not me.
This is true. So I'm going to say right now, I don't think that's what's weird. I don't think he ever looked 100% flat black in that movie, not one time. That's one of the beefs people have with that movie. They made his costume all flashy throughout the entire thing.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it again tonight for the 150th time.
You poor man. I promised you I was going to take another rewatch, one day, trying to frame it, as you do. And, it's,
put it in through that lens of,
yes.
Watching Batman 66 ridiculousness in a modern era, right?
Yeah. But I think the big headshot there, I think that's pretty spot on. I think that looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quality work and stuff.
I think Mike actually ruined it for me though, because those abs are they're a little out of hand. I don't know if that's anatomically correct or not, but if it is, it still looks weird. Thanks, Mike. You just saved me.
It's amazing you guys are so concentrated on the abs when we know what the elephant in the room is for this Batman. So we'll just keep going.
I was going to say something about Robin's nipples, but yeah, no. Why are his abs? Because it's Robin, I guess.
They're Robin, yeah.
Those abs seem reasonable.
Well, one is 6-minute abs.
One is 8-minute abs.
8-minute abs, yeah.
Okay.
But that's it. That night will wrap up the horizon for this week.
Awesome.
Very nice. And like you said, beginning with a night and ending with a night, perfect. Awesome. Can't afford any of them until at least July, if even then. But it's great to see them. And I can't wait till Tyler can afford them too, so we can appreciate them set up in his place.
Yeah. Just waiting on Pat and Tyler to buy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you ready to wrap this up?
Yep.
Maybe.
All right. Go first. Okay. I have a couple things.
All right.
First, an explanation. I did have a blind box.
Uh-oh.
But then we skipped the show. And this blind box was specifically for Cora to open. And she had known about it, and she had been waiting for days. And the anticipation was killing her. So I caved, and I let her open it. So she opened it. But she did bring it down here. I can show everybody what it is.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll just order another one for the show, and I wasn't able to. So, but I also did a little bit of homework. So, if you're gonna watch Dune Prophecies, make sure you have a 7-Eleven pizza.
Oh,
at the same time.
Nice.
So here's the blind box. This is a picture of them. These regular price is $35 a piece.
What?
They
Wait,
were
before
on.
you open the box, or
Yeah.
once you know what they are?
No, before you open the box.
A blind box that's $35.
Yeah. Once, but they're on sale.
oh.
I think they're on sale for like $14.
Oh.
All right.
Where?
I'll have to share the website. It's very tricky to find.
Oh, but we ain't finding these in any retail stores.
No. These are online. And everything on them is Japanese, so it's it's crazy. But anyway, you want to make me large because I do have the one that Cora pulled.
Right,
and
we'll
it's the one that she wanted.
Drop that graphic.
Oh,
Of course.
Yeah.
I wanted that one, or
Yeah, she wanted
probably the cat.
Okay, yeah. She wanted the cat from My Neighbor Totoro.
Nope.
Isn't that from?
No, that's Kiki's Delivery.
Oh, Kiki's Delivery Service. Right.
Good
I'm not an expert. Or she wanted Ponyo, and she got Ponyo.
Awesome.
But it gets better. It gets better. Okay. I mean, these are nice and solid, but it gets better. Yeah, they're
Okay.
resin. They all light up.
Oh, that's cool. That's why they're $35. Anything you light up.
Look at that color changing.
Oh, fancy.
Yep.
Hold on a second. I gotta ask this though, and I'm gonna sound ignorant when I say this. Did you say Ponyo?
Yeah.
I thought it was Ponyo this whole time.
No.
I've been saying
If you
Ponyo.
if you watch it, you'll know it's Ponyo.
Oh, okay.
So many times I just refuse to watch it anymore. I get
But anyway.
tired.
That was going to be the blind box. I recommend getting them. I'll see if I can share the link to the Xcellar Facebook page because they're really great, and I think they're still on sale for the next hour. It says, but it always says that.
Okay. For $15, which is still pricey for a blind box.
Yeah, but it lights up, and they're heavy resin. They're
Very
nice.
cool. Very cool. All right, Pat, what do you got?
All right, I kind of got an oddball item because I just can't find anything interesting. Typical blind box. So I found this at Kohl's before not Kohl's, TJ Maxx right before Christmas. And this is a die-cast pop. I don't know if you guys have seen any of these, but they're typically $50 because they're die-cast, not plastic. And that is Indiana Jones.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now the blind box factor in this is that, much to, we've talked about this over and over again, the chase, you have a potential of a chase.
Okay.
And the chase is the fact that they don't paint the dang thing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping beyond all hopes that I do not get the chase version.
Yeah.
Imagine.
So Valor got one of these too. He got a regular one, and he said if I get a chase, he'll take the chase. I don't know why.
So he can sell it on eBay for $100. And
Well, yeah, maybe
buy that Lego.
And these were, by the way, like I said, retail's 15. TJ Maxx had them for 20, and then after Christmas they got clearance a little bit, and I ended up paying 16 for them.
So retail was 50.
Yeah.
Okay. You initially said 50, and then you said 15.
Oh,
and then
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I heard 15 too. Yeah, that's what I was like. Why? How's 16 better? So you both got some great deals on some overpriced.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say overpriced. Some high dollar items. Yeah.
Yep.
So you're not opening yours right now?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if you were going to show what yours was. But
Oh no, I wanted to. Yeah.
It's fancy packaging. It's a hard box, foam here. You still don't know. This could be its own show.
Yeah.
Every side of the box.
Oh wow.
Foam. And actually, I don't know how to get these dang things open. So why don't you go ahead? Yeah,
okay.
Why don't you go ahead, Kevin?
What do you have equipped?
Oh yeah. Also on clearance at TJ Maxx was the after Christmas Kevin candy. So make sure you pick some up.
Right. Nice ASMR.
Okay, the foam's just gonna fall away, so we'll maybe get the reveal here.
Okay.
You
thought.
Sorry. Regular.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
That thing is awesome. Yeah, congratulations for not getting the.
That's metal, huh? That is cool.
Yep.
That's very cool. Yeah.
I like the case too. The case is cool. It's just basically the Funko, normal, typical Funko pop case, but it's, white line art, transparent. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. I haven't seen those. Is there like a bunch of those, or is this like a new thing and they don't have?
Yeah, I know there's a Darth Vader, there's a Joker. The Joker's pretty cool. I saw him on clearance on Funko's website. But yeah, I know at least those three.
Yeah, the only one I'm a fan of those three is Indiana Jones, so that's good. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, excuse me. I went the simple cheap route, and I got a collectible NFL figure.
Nice. 'Cause Mark has a little place where he's putting those.
Okay, well, this is for Mark. So
Yeah, he's
Queenie
counting on
Mates 2025. What'd you say?
He's got two of them. Because you got him one. You got the Len Dawson one. Then I got him one.
Oh, right.
And then he's got him hanging up. And he's like, I have space for more. So hopefully Uncle Kevin gets me more.
Yeah. And I'm hoping for a Steeler, of course. I hope that's what, even though, geez, oh man, I'm sorry. Even though I know we're all kind of ruining the game this evening, I hope he still wants a Steeler one, So I know he does. I know. I'm just, happy and funny. Trying to be. But yeah, and just know that rubbing and smelling is not the same as scratching and sniffing. Right. And thank God, because you wouldn't want to scratch your comic book. Check out the latest Batman Soup Santa Claus Silent Night. And I can't get this thing open. What the heck? What happened to the little thing? Hold on a second.
Get your knife. Get some. So I went and I just posted the link to these on the Xcellar Facebook page. So
I need more. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Okay, literally, I needed scissors. Yeah, Core. Maybe that's what I'll hook that up. Maybe that can be my next blind pull.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, I see it. A good one. Wait, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, these are different. Yeah. Oh, and actually, the chase for these is a camouflaged one, which is dumb. But yeah, this is Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he has no place for those. I'm kidding. No, he'll make one. I was thinking it was those the backpack.
But there's another one.
Oh, you get more than one. Oh, it's the
Is there another one? There's another one.
Jeez.
Why is this one in a bag? Why is this one in a bag? All right, this one's not too bad.
All right.
Mostly because, me and Mike.
Oh, yeah, the Redskins. Or that's the Washington Commanders helmet.
Coached Mark as a commander.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. And then I say there's another one. There's not another figure, but there's another thing in here. Oh, it comes with puzzle pieces. I guess these make a puzzle, of course.
Yeah.
So, a lot of cool stuff. Collect all 35 puzzle pieces. Oh, it actually makes a football field. This is the puzzle it makes.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Then you can set them up for football.
Yeah, then you can set them up playing football. I can't show them both at the same time, but they're tiny. Yeah, obviously, But there you go, Mark. That's on its way to you. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you get those football figures? Remember the ones you bought Max back in the day? Did you get another batch of those? Didn't you say you were going to get another batch of those, Mike? That came to the container. That's just a bunch of football. The Army men or football.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's in my Amazon cart.
Okay. Those are cool.
Getting them.
All right, Mike. Did you have another quip?
A couple of things. Fishburne and Affleck. Is it Affleck? Affleck, not Affleck.
Affleck. I always say Affleck. Ben Affleck.
Now I'm confused on what. Anyway, they're
Isn't
great
that-
actors.
There's an E in there, I think. Affleck.
Affleck. The actor, the brothers are Affleck.
The insurance company.
His dress is Affleck.
Is that black? Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, Fishburne and Affleck are good actors. They're just not good in Slingshot. So
Yes.
go watch their other movies instead.
No. Damn it.
Oh,
I always want to ruin quips. This is why we switched to unwraps because
they're calling you the ruiner.
and I was just gonna because they're actually the bright point of it. Their acting is a good part of it. It's just everything else is bad about it, So
Yeah.
Pat, you got anything else?
No, I do not.
All right. I was just also going to add that the Joker movies, both of them are decent, but they'd be better if they weren't called the Joker.
Yeah.
So don't forget that DC, Warner Brothers, whoever's in charge of making those decisions. So, all right, that'll do it then. Oh man, we never put up a banner the entire show. Mike, what are you doing?
I think it's fine without the banner. People know what we're talking about.
You're the fill-in for Karen when she's not here. We talked about
I know. I made an executive decision and I
to
didn't
not put up a banner. All right. Well, while we finish up the unwrap recap, look how much cooler we look now. I'll put this up. Okay, so please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notifications. Seriously, we'd really appreciate it. We want to have a strong 2025 so we can stop working our day jobs by 2026. Follow Xcellar Comics on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and follow Xcellar_comics on TikTok. Check out what we have to offer on eBay at Xcellar_comics as well. And then watch our shows on the Whatnot app. I have a show scheduled for tomorrow night, 8 p.m. And I'm working diligently on getting things organized to make it a great show. And obviously, as we've talked about during this episode, you can expect some Micronauts if you're a Micronauts fan, So be there for that. And then you can help support the show and everything we do and plan to do through Patreon at patreon.com/XcellarComics. And then I'm not even going to put this up because it's all butchered anyway. Please watch our next live stream, which will be the 25th of January. Right, Mike?
Yes.
And then the more exciting thing, which we teased at the end of the year last year, but we didn't give a specific date, but now we have it. Cover Combat 11 will be here January 27th.
Yep.
Of this, Monday. That's Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shows at 8:30 a.m. Cover Combat's Monday night, 8 p.m. And we will drop the covers that are going to be involved in that. When will we drop those, Mike? On the 25th, probably, for people to have time to. That'll give them a week and 2 days for them to select, claim the book they think is going to win it all and win a big prize, right?
Yep. Already working on prizes.
All right, awesome. And so that'll do it for us then.
That's it.
I think that's all I got because I didn't even look at the banners for 1 second. Karen's going to be so disappointed in us.
Yeah.
Mostly Mike because he told her he'd do it.
I would do that.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea. No, you didn't say that. So the last thing I wanted to say is go Steelers.
Yep.
We are believers and doubters simultaneously. But one thing's for sure, for me at least, I can't stand those Ravens.
Can't stand those dirty birds.
So it'll be a win-win for me tonight when the Steelers win, because I like to watch the Steelers win, but I also like to watch the Ravens lose. And I've seen a few predictors. They may have been random die roll predictors, but nevertheless, I've seen some predictions. Yeah. I think I saw a little buddy make a video too, and the way he was predicting it too. Right, Mike? Mark's Madden predictions predicted the Steelers are going to win tonight as well.
Yeah, his Madden prediction did.
So let's do like ESPN right now, Mike. For the record, who's winning the Steeler Ravens game?
No matter who they're playing, I always pick the Steelers.
Pat?
I feel like they better win this game.
I agree. Or
I
we're
think
gonna have
they
a
can. I think they can. Also, I'll say that.
Oh, that's very well put too. I totally agree. I definitely think they can. So just a little worried. That's all. And then of course mine for the last pick is. And then let's just say this now because we've never done this before. This is fun too, Mike. We haven't done it on air before, Mike. If the Steelers don't win the Super Bowl, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Detroit Lions.
Pat.
I don't follow football enough to make a clear choice like that. So I'll say Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I wish Dan Campbell was our coach. That guy, I like watching his when he talks to the team because man, he is in it for them. It's awesome, and he's got them following him. So
I like that. But I'm gonna disagree with y'all because I just watched the Jim Kelly Buffalo Bill documentary.
Yeah,
totally had me buying into come on, the Bills just deserve one. So if the Steelers don't win it, I'm gonna be rooting for the Bills. I will be happy.
4 opportunities. The Lions haven't had any.
Right, which begs to the age-old question: would you rather be in the Super Bowl 4 times and lose it 4 times, or not be in the Super Bowl at all? Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus, my cousin Rich, growing up, his second favorite team was Detroit Lions, so I try to pull for them for his sake also.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an easy choice for me too. It'll be a great Super Bowl if it's the Lions and the Bills because I think in either team that wins is a big winner for football.
Yeah,
that's what
I just hope it's not the Lions versus the Steelers because the Lions are really good.
Right. So.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, that'll do it. Yeah, I'm glad you guys were finally in for a long closing, like I like to do by myself most of the time.
You fooled us with the football talk, Kevin. We weren't.
I'm actually not. I've got to get going because I've got a bunch of people upstairs waiting for me. It's Dee's birthday. Happy birthday, Dee.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dee. Okay, that'll do it. Thanks for checking us out, and until next time, don't forget, appreciating great art is awesome. And reading a great story is a lot of fun. So why not pick up a comic book and do both? Xcellar out.